Thanks for staying with us. There's always something special going on in this town, especially for children, and this time it's a program and event to help kids get introduced to Navy SEALs and former Navy SEALs, who will encourage them to make great choices about health and what they do in life. To talk to us about it today, we have Miss AniYa, who has been on the program before, doing a lot to encourage people and kind of connect people together to try to bring some good to the community. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And you've brought with you 3 special guests.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll ask them their names in a moment. We'll talk to them a little bit, but let's talk about what this event is all about. You are organizing.
Yes.
Through the Freedom Entertainment Group.
Yep.
You're organizing this event called what?
It is called the Get Back on Track Initiative. Of course, I wanted to thank you, Ed, and the entire staff of PSL Living for helping us to promote this program, but also to encourage others to join us and to support, because as you see, we have 3 of our lovely young ones that are heavily affiliated and a part of this program, but we are also supporting our veteran community as well. So it is the Get Back on Track community event. It's an initiative. It is to promote education. It's to promote motivation, promote, combating obesity in our youth as well as our adults. It's something that I want everybody to know about, and I'm glad to be here today to share.
You've mentioned recently to me about the importance of having this wonderful Navy SEAL museum right in our own community in Fort Pierce in St. Lucie County.
Yeah.
And you're working with that to try to get some attention.
That's right. And matter of fact, if I can show you guys just a little bit here, we have one of their flyers from the National Navy SEAL Museum, which literally has a lot of their information. And the importance about that is, again, like you said, the motivation. These guys literally started right here. Our Navy SEALs started in our backyard right in Fort Pierce, Florida, and it is a part of St. Lucie County. And what I found that was very interesting, here's more about, their Trident house here. What I found that is very interesting is a lot of people in our communities don't know they're here. However, people around the world know they're right here. And it's so funny because I was introduced to them and I got to attend as kind of like, a special VIP guest of Mr. Tony, our national sales director, as well as a veteran himself last year for the November event that they had. Ross Perot was there. They literally had the blue ribbon dedication. They have this humongous statue that was presented to 2 of the guys that literally fought during, I think, Vietnam, and one had half of his face blown off, and literally the other guy carried him. This is Mr. Nichols, and I can't remember, I'm sorry, the other guy's name. I've been promoting them so much throughout our community, sometimes I draw a blank myself. However, everybody needs to stop and see this monument. He carried him about, 20 miles or so with this man's face that was completely demolished throughout this event. And why I say that is because when I was there at the Navy SEAL Museum last year, matter of fact, Commissioner Todd Maury was there and he spoke, Congressman Patrick Murphy was there and spoke. These people of importance in our community literally stood up for something that was bigger than all of us. And to see that dedication, to see that this blue ribbon award only goes to people after they have been deceased. However, these 2 gentlemen got it while they're alive. They had this humongous thing for them. It was beautiful. And then I got to meet a lot of the staff from the Navy SEAL Museum as well. And again, so many people don't know that they're right here in our community.
And so when kids get to meet people like this, they hear these stories. It sounds pretty serious. What happened to those guys?
Yeah.
You hear about that special strength that they overcame terrible things, and I guess you're trying to relate that message to their own lives.
Yes, and I want them to be able to work together as well. See, what happens a lot of times is young people, they do not understand camaraderie. They don't understand how to, fight for something of purpose, of greatness, and stand for good things, our freedoms.
Purposes.
Right. They want to fight each other for like a tennis shoe or something, which we have tennis shoes that we'll talk about soon here, but they want to do things that don't make sense to me. And so when I saw the great importance of this, again, community right here, I said we have to do something with this, and then got in contact with Mr. Tony, and literally we have forged a group, and we have forged a relationship. And 2 weeks ago, matter of fact, we got a tour of the Navy SEAL Museum with our young ones on September 6th, and it was amazing because a lot of the information that was distributed and disseminated into the community and to them, I didn't even know myself. So after doing my research research and thinking that I knew a whole lot, I still had a lot more to learn. So if I had a lot more to learn after going and participating at this event, last year, then I know these young people have a lot to learn, and they will appreciate it as well.
Right. Now, the three of these great kids are here. This group got a tour of the Navy SEAL Museum. So I want to hear a little bit about that. So we'll start with our first one here. Tell me your name.
My name is Fadia Ranas.
Hey, well, good to have you here. And you went to the Navy SEAL Museum?
Yes.
What did you think of that?
It was amazing. We got to see all the history of them, and Mr. Tony told us a lot about them.
I'll bet you're a good student. That's good. And does that inspire you when you see these SEALs and the stories about all the things that they did? Does that make you feel like, okay,
yes,
I want to keep trying and do the right thing in life?
Yes.
That's great. Okay, and we've got another person here with us. This guy in the middle, what is your name?
My name is Jay.
Jay. Okay, Jay, thanks for being here. Good to have you. And did you get to go to the museum too?
Yes.
What did you think about all that Navy SEAL stuff?
I think it was really fun. It was great. We got to see the history of Navy SEALs. It was really fun. I think a lot of people should go see it.
What did you like best there?
Mostly, I like the history of the Navy SEALs the most.
It sounds really important when you hear that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
Very good. All right, thank you. And then our next guy here, the third one in the group, what is your name?
My name is Odini.
Good to have you here, Odini. And you went on the tour to the Navy SEAL Museum?
Yeah.
What kind of things did they show you there?
They show about histories of the Navy SEAL.
Okay.
And then my favorite part of the thing is that when they battle, they get to live.
Right, sure. Yeah, impressive place, isn't it? So, do any of you ever think maybe one day I'd like to try being in the Navy? Or, yeah, you'd like that idea? Yeah, well, good for you. We need good young people to grow up and continue the tradition of what the SEALs are about, and working hard to protect America so we have this freedom that we have, and to go out and have a good life. So thank you. Maybe that'll be for you in the future. If you do that, maybe we can get you back on our show again to talk about it. Bring in some of your Navy SEAL tools someday and tell us how they work. Does that sound good? Well, thank you three for being here. It's always good to have kids on the program, and that's real nice. So this is an example of three of those young people who are
and there was about 15 or 20 of them, and it was amazing because I mean the looks in their faces while they were there was amazing. And you know what was the best part for me? Yes, the kids had a great time. They got to dress up. Mr. Andy was actually our tour guide. We love you, Mr. Andy. We love you, Mr. Tony. But the best part was the parents. One of the parents, and she couldn't make it with her daughter today. I'm shouting her out, Miss Exiban. She was like, "Take my picture," as she was like, with one of the guns on the Mark V. The Mark V is their big boat that they used to utilize, but it was so huge. It was like it's a 17-passenger like boat submarine thing. You know me, I thought it was a plane at first. I was like, what is this thing? And to make a long story short, she was the most excited about it and had me taking pictures of her the whole time. And literally, it was amazing to see the look on her face and the other parents' faces as they were learning. Matter of fact, his mother as well was one of the chaperones. Her name is Miss Eugenie, and she was so excited that she said thank you afterwards, and it brought tears to my eyes. Y'all know I love to cry because I got to experience what they experienced, and it was the joy to see that their young people get an opportunity that many don't even have. So that's why I do what I do. And with the Get Back on Track initiative, we've collaborated also with the South location, which is the Solar Energy Loan Fund group right here. Mr. Doug Howard, we love him. He has been instrumental because not only does he have a phenomenal location where he helps people on a day-to-day basis with their solar energy, etc., but he's very much into helping the veterans as well. So when we had our first meeting in regards to what I was doing in the community after relinking with him, he literally told me about this project that he's working on with the veterans, and it just made me feel so good because a portion of our proceeds are going to the veteran community. community. So how amazing is it that not only do we get to work with our little ones, but we're also giving back to the communities of the vets. And that's why I said we have to be able to share this information for all the veterans that have worked so hard for our communities to keep us free, to show their love to us. You know, we have to give back. And so I wanted to share that, you know, with Self here, you know, they opened their doors for us. They're located at 2400 Rhode Island Avenue. However, their entrance is on the other side, which is on Quincy, and they're right next to the fire department. And I say that to say they're also helping us with our tennis shoe drive. So they are collecting tennis shoes for us. As you see, we've already gotten a ton of tennis shoes. Well, I don't say a ton, but we've gotten about a dozen tennis shoes already from one of our sponsors, Miss Julie Williams, whom we love. And we're just working on getting more tennis shoes to send as many kids as possible to do this relay course, to train with us, and to get back on track.
So that's how these things connect. These,
Correct.
You know, make sure the kid has something right on his or her feet,
Yep.
and help be part of that encouragement to get healthy and fit.
Yes, yes, because how else are we going to be able to get healthy? We can't wear stilettos out there on the fields.
Can't wear stilettos, and if you're out there wearing something that looks like this, they can hide in the bushes and
Yes.
wear camouflage.
Yes, and you know what? It's funny that you say that, Ed, because the beautiful part, and as you see, we have for the little ones too, because we're starting them up from 4 years old. So from 4 to 18 years old. Yeah, so if you have little bitty ones, bring them on out.
Not too young to get them.
Not too young to get them started.
Get them started.
Because, you know, youth obesity actually starts at a very young age, and as we see, a lot more people are having issues with their children being very much overweight. So we're definitely training and trying to get people on the, you know, message with us that you can get your kids started at a very young age with this, and they'll be called the tadpoles of the group. Now, what I wanted to say about this as well with the tennis shoes is, you know, a lot of times parents cannot afford for different programs in their, you know, communities. They can't afford to send their kids to school with regular tennis shoes or shoes for school, as well as get them on board with this project. So that's when the tennis shoe drop box came to mind. Like, how do we get more people involved? You know, we have about 30 kids already that we're trying to send to this group, which there is a fee, but I know that, you know, God willing, we're gonna get these kids to do this and participate. But you know, the tennis shoe drop box is always making a stand too, is also very instrumental in this whole project, because like you said, how else are we gonna get them to train? We can't wear stilettos on the field.
It might be something that people could overlook if you don't realize. We want to talk about getting kids healthy, but if they don't have the right footwear,
No,
you're up against a big problem right from
Big
the start.
problems from the start, and
Very
these
clever,
are
'cause
cool.
that's an easily overlooked thing.
Yes, and you know, the camouflage part is so funny too, because with the Navy SEALs, what we learned as a group, which I already kind of knew about, was how much these people do in the water as well as in nature. The beautiful part, and as you see, we already got the camouflage look going, is a lot of times they could be right in the bush somewhere or in the water, and you won't even know that they're right there. So we're already one step ahead of the game with this whole project, I think.
I'll bet these kids enjoyed learning about that those guys have to be really quiet and sneak up in the dark on people.
And they're covered in like gear and the makeup. Well, it's not called makeup. I don't know what you guys call it, but it's like black and green stuff. Yeah, but it's really cool.
Well, great. If somebody wants to know more about this program, they want to donate some sneakers here, or they want to kind of get involved a little bit about about this effort, what can they do to contact somebody?
Well, as you guys know, I'm all over Facebook as well as social media, and matter of fact, I'm all over YouTube as well, especially with our former, you know, interviews that we've done. Thank you again, PSL Living, Ed, for all your help. You can get in contact with me at 772-985-5508. Again, 772-985-5508. I can be emailed at feglc143@gmail.com. Again, a little slower, feglc143@gmail.com. Or you can go on Freedom Entertainment Group. We have the pictures from our first meeting where we presented the idea. We have pictures of them doing the tour. We have pictures of our last fundraiser. We'll be doing fundraisers in the community because we want to make this happen. We want to see this dream come true. Plus, these young people, not only are they doing well in school, I want the community to know that we don't just work with any old child, but we want to open our doors to every single child, but we want them to demonstrate leadership. We want them to be able to demonstrate that they're doing well in school. We want them to also demonstrate that they have a passion for what we're discussing and what we're bringing forward, as well as their parents. So we're actually in the process of training them as dancers and singers. They're dancing and singing in our community. We had them performing recently at my last event, which was the bringing in the chef event, which we interviewed about that. They did a phenomenal job, blew me away because I didn't even know they existed. Can you imagine, from April to now, we have come such a long way. So imagine if we have the proper facilities, the sponsorships, and the help that we need, we'll definitely be able to do a lot more in the community. So please join us, guys. Contact me, 772-985-5508, and we're available for, you know, meetings and so much more to get back on track.
Well, great. Miss AniYa, thank you for taking time to come here and tell us about it today, and for going out there in the community and looking for ways you could help and just kind of take it from the ground up. That's such an important thing.
Yes, and I'm so excited about the Veterans Hospital too. That's going to be here, the nursing home.
This is a community for veterans.
Yes, and we just thank all the leaders, Mr. Larry Lee, Commissioner Johnson, Chris Adofsky, Congressman Patrick Murphy, our governor. You know, all these people that have worked together for such a great cause. Thank you guys so much.
Fantastic. Okay, kids, well, we appreciate you taking the time for being here. Always good to have young people on the program. Good luck with the future. We want to hear great things and that you're making good choices and just growing up to be great people. And the world will be better off because of it. So thank you for spending, and you're very well behaved, by the way.
Oh, aren't they?
Have you stand here for a while and talk to us, and we appreciate it.
And they have one last thing to say to you guys. What's our little slogan, guys?
Hoo-yah!
That's right, for the Navy.
Hoo-yah. I agree. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll be back after this quick message, so stay with us.